They'll never know you're a newbie copywriter with no experience if you follow the tips in this video. Seriously. Now, this isn't about tricking your clients or misleading them. In fact, it's important to remember that there are clients all the way up the copywriting ladder. For example, there are a lot of businesses who could not afford my services at this point in my career, but they would benefit so much from working with a newbie copywriter who is studying the craft, who is doing their best, and who is working their butt off to deliver something that is better each and every time. So just keep that in mind. I often see older, seasoned copywriters kind of forgetting that everybody started in the beginning. And so just know that if you are new and you are starting out, it's okay. There is somebody out there who is perfect just for you at where you're at right now. Being perceived as a professional copywriter isn't about convincing clients that you have more experience than you have. In fact, I would never recommend that you do that. It isn't about looking like you have it all together, It's not about having the perfect website or the perfect invoice or the perfect portfolio. It's not even about promising huge results. In fact, as you grow as a copywriter, you'll realize you can't really promise anything. You can only rely on your experience. And being perceived as professional also isn't about responding to your emails immediately. In fact, that usually screams I'm a newbie. And it's not about delivering work yesterday or having a 20-hour turnaround time. Nope, that's not what makes you look professional either. So what are the things that are going to make you look like a professional copywriter and have a client not even think to ask how long you've been doing this? First things first, making it super easy on them. Make it easy on your client. And I mean that in a couple of different ways. I don't mean bending over backwards and delivering work with like a 20-hour turnaround time or anything like that. I just mean have a few basic systems in place. Have an invoicing software. Have a procedure for sending them a proposal. And it can be as simple as an email, quite frankly. Make recommendations. They're looking for you for guidance. And then, of course, be really pleasant to work with. I mean, I cannot tell you how far that goes, and it's often overlooked. Other small things I have clients do that really reduce the kind of back and forth and things like that is commenting on the doc itself. So I submit work in a Google Doc, and I have them respond in their edits in the Google Doc as well. And then that's how we kind of go back and forth. It's so much more efficient and more concrete than having them hop on a phone call with me. Because if you get edits where they're not forced to kind of make very specific comments, it can get kind of into a runaway situation, or they might not really know what they're asking for. So do what you can to make things easier on the client. This goes so far. The next piece of advice I have for you is to just be super professional. Don't overshare about your personal life, deliver work on time, respond to emails in a timely manner, being kind and just professional. I mean, freelancers kind of have a bad rap, to be honest. And so if you are out there showing up professionally, delivering work on time, and doing your very best every time, and being an absolute delight to work with, that will take you so far. It will honestly take you a lot further than some of the writers out there that are, maybe a little bit better than you. This goes so far, being a pleasure to work with. The next one is to manage expectations. This is really important. Make it really clear for your client when they can expect work from you, when you expect edits back from them, what deadlines look like, what payments are due and when, and also any of your systems or processes that they should be aware of. It also helps to manage expectations around what the copy will actually deliver. I, at this point in my career, almost 10 years in, still would never guarantee a particular conversion rate, so just don't do it. There's far too many variables at play, and quite frankly, part of your job is going to be like testing and tweaking and making things better as you go. So just set some realistic expectations right out the gate. My next tip for you is to use an invoicing platform. It's so simple. I can't tell you how many newbies I had to walk through the conversation of them not wanting to invest in an invoice software like FreshBooks, Dubsado, Hello Bonsai, you name it, there's a ton. But I've had so many conversations with newbies where they didn't want to invest in that because they felt like that was taking from some of their paycheck. But that is not the right mindset to have about this. What invoicing software does is it automates some of your systems, and it also looks so much more professional. And yes, there's a credit card processing fee, but guess what? That is just part of the cost of doing business. And as a copywriter, your costs are so low. So low. You don't have to have a storefront. You don't have to have inventory. You have to have maybe a few pieces of software. So do what you can to stand out among the needy, unprofessional freelancers, look professional, take multiple forms of payment, and make it really easy for your client to pay you. I mean, after all, they're trying to pay you, so make it really easy. The next piece of advice I have for you is to get advice from coaches or mentors. Listen, when you are first starting out, one of the best ways that you can really skyrocket your career is to have coaches and mentors and people who have been where you're trying to go in your back pocket. If you have somebody that you can reach out to and ask questions of, it's going to give you a shortcut, cheat codes, into making this whole thing work for you so much more quickly. Because if you don't have that, then you're relying on the feedback from your clients, which is going to probably not be as direct. It's not going to be educated in copy, right? They're not going to be necessarily studying copy and knowing what they're looking at. But also that takes a heck of a lot more time because you're going to have to be deciphering that, applying it to the next project, and on and on and on. Seriously, save yourself a lot of time and heartache and invest in a good coach or a mentor. And actually, that brings me to my next point. Hire a good copy editor. Seriously, they are worth every penny. And they'll kind of act a little bit like a coach if they're really good. So you will get feedback from somebody who has actually been trained in copy. Now, want to clarify here. A copy editor is not somebody who's just going to check your grammar and your spelling. I mean, there's tools for that. You kind of don't need that anymore anyway. But a good copy editor is actually trained in copy and going to help you be a better copywriter. That's why it is so, so valuable. Not to mention, it makes writing a lot more collaborative. And I can't tell you how helpful it is when I have been wrestling with a piece of copy to just pass it off to my copy editor and leave her even a little note that's like, I really struggled in this section. Can't wait to hear your feedback here. And to get somebody's insight means that you're not working in a vacuum. It seriously makes the whole process better. And quite frankly, it makes your writing better and it makes you so much more of a professional. The last tip I have for you is to prioritize working on your business owner mindset. Most newbie copywriters who are freelancers come from the employee 9-to-5 world where you have to ask permission, where you're given your next task, where you are, come to the table not quite as an equal, but there's a hierarchy. When you are a business owner, when you are a freelancer, you are coming to the table as an equal. There's nobody telling you what to do. You have to set your own hours. You have to decide what the next steps are. It can be kind of overwhelming at first, but it really doesn't have to be. There's a lot of wonderful resources out there and there's a lot of great paths. Pick one, follow it, get feedback, and keep on going. Cultivating a strong business owner mindset is also going to allow you to charge what your writing is worth. It's going to allow you to push back on scope creep. I mean, it's just so important. It's how you build a business that you actually enjoy working in. So don't overlook it. I'm a big fan of mindset work. Anyway, I hope that helps. Don't be afraid to go after newbie clients. It's totally fine. Somebody out there is desperate for somebody like you who is just at the beginning of their career, whose rates are a little bit more affordable for them, but who is trying their best. And that is really what you got to do. Keep showing up, keep being professional, and keep getting after it. All right, I hope this helps. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button if it was helpful for you. It's how I know you'd like to see more stuff like this in the future. Don't forget to subscribe. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos or have any thoughts on this one, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Thanks, guys.